Hello and welcome back, Haunted Locations fans. This season we'll be doing things just a little bit different than we did in Season 1 and in Season 2. In Season 1 we had Jennifer Baker doing Haunted Locations out in Alabama. Season 2 we had Mallory out here in Colorado. So in Season 3 I'm going to be your host, Andy Simmons, and we're going to be doing things using a green screen. We've got a great research person, my wife, Trisha. She's going to be finding the locations for us to talk about and all kind of interesting things. And if they're in driving distance, we will even try and head out there and do some research out there. So on today's episode, we're just going to recap the first two episodes. Episode 1 from Season 1 and then Episode 1 Season 2. So here we go. Here's Season 1. Our very first episode of Haunted Locations. It was kind of weird. It was something new, but we enjoyed it.
Behind me you see Greystone Manor. Greystone Manor is one of northern Alabama's most haunted attractions come Halloween. It's open from September to October, approximately about 35 days out of the year. It has a history though. It's not only one of the most haunted attractions because of the costume factor, there is also a history behind the place of a darker side. The darker side of Greystone Manor is that there's been at least 20 unexplained deaths on the property. The people that run the haunted house state that they waste no time leaving at night once they're through. There's been many different occurrences happening in there during the off-season. They've had items disappear. They've had things move. We ourselves even had experiences in here in our investigation. It consists of about 3 buildings that used to be part of a flea market. It has now since been converted into many rooms, stretching over many acres of land here, twisting and turning into a maze. There's no telling what you'll hear in here. We've heard anything from clicking to speaking. We heard the animatronics trying to turn on. We had lights turned on and were told by the owner that if we flipped the breakers that he instructed us to, there was no power going to the building whatsoever. So, is Greystone Manor haunted just because of the fact that they class it as a haunted attraction? Or does Greystone Manor have its own haunting tales to share?
All right. You know, that was kind of differently. Of course, we had to edit out the beginning music because of, copyright. So on this one's going to be Mallory out here in Colorado, out there at Kiowa Creek out in Bennett, Colorado. Here it is.
Thanks for joining us on this adventure. I'm Mallory and I will be your host. We are here at the Kansas Pacific Train Bridge in Bennett, Colorado. As history is told, the night of May 21st, 1878, the Kansas Pacific No. 8 was carrying a load of rail iron, was running late out of Denver, headed towards Kiowa, the small town about 30 miles east of the capital city. It is reported that the locomotive separated from the rest of the train and disappeared in the raging floodwaters. Most of the freight cars and coal tender were salvaged in the weeks that followed. The report goes on that 3 were killed. Clive Cussler came out and dug a hole looking for the locomotive. As far as it being haunted, the only information we are able to find is a ghost train that passes by at about 3:40 p.m. And on some nights you are able to see or hear a ghost train passing by. We're here at the Kiowa Creek Bridge and we're here to talk to an investigator about what they investigated here, and we're here with the lead investigator, Shannon. So, hello Shannon, would you like to share your experience?
Yeah, I'm the lead investigator with Earthly Paranormal Research Team out of Brighton, Colorado. My team and I came down here and we did an investigation, and we caught everything from a ghost train whistle to voices and unexplained knocking on the bridge when it's not settling. It was actually pretty cool.
What kind of voices did you hear?
Conversations with 2 men.
Okay.
We couldn't really understand what they were saying, but we've heard them.
And the whistle, did it sound just like the train passing by?
Yes.
Okay.
It did. Pretty interesting and intriguing, and we've been out here at the said time that the ghost train comes through. That's about the time we caught the whistle, but we've also caught it at night too.
Have you ever seen the ghost train?
No, but you hear it.
You hear it, okay.
Yes, you do hear it.
Thank you.
There's quite a bit of history out here too, so.
Thank you, Shannon, for your time and sharing with haunted locations, the viewers and I. Thank you.
No problem.
Clouds grew heavy and the winds grew cold on a dark night in December. Old number 8 full of scrap iron freight was hauling out east from Denver. Rain came down like the wrath of God and the sky was ablaze with lightning. A floodwater surge was picking up speed and Kiowa Creek was rising, rising. He looked out into the raging storm and he opened up the lever. Old number 8 was making good time in spite of this heavy weather. But just ahead in its churning bed, the bridge began to give. And the men on freight train number 8 had 7 more minutes to live. And the midnight train keeps a-rolling on. The creek's been rising all night long. Floodwater surge is coming on strong. Kiowa Bridge 60780 is gone. Well, they set the red light up the track, 'cause they knew this train was coming. The station master at Kyle Crossing was out on the rails a-running. The throttle screamed into reverse and the brakeman heaved like thunder. But the wheels just slid on the frozen rails and the engine barreled onward. And the midnight train keeps a-rolling on. Creek's been rising all night long. Floodwater surges coming on strong. Iowa Bridge 60780 is gone. Well, the engine plunged off into the flood and its headlights' eerie glow could still be seen from the naked ridge and the icy water below. And old number 8, that mighty freight, was gone in the blink of an eye. 25 cars were washed away to that rail yard in the sky. Now the midnight train keeps a-rolling on. The creek's been rising all night long. Floodwater surges coming on strong. Iowa Bridge 60780 said the midnight train keep a-rolling on. Creek's been rising all night long. Floodwater surges coming on strong. Iowa Bridge 60780 is gone. Now the big rigs cross on Highway 6, just above the timber line. The quiet little creek that flows underneath never pays them any mind. But they say if you listen to the wind on a rainy night in December, you can hear the rumble of an old ghost train hauling back home to Denver.
Alright, so let's jump back to Season 1, Episode 1. If you can tell from the sign, it said Greystone Manor, which at the time, that's what it was called, Greystone Manor. But nowadays, it is called Ox Mortis. I'm guessing because different people own it now. So, folks, you know, we've got a lot of great stuff coming to you this season. Hopefully it's some stuff you like. If not, you know, you can always hit us up at our email address right here. Right here, you can get us on Facebook, and also this is going to be on YouTube. You can always leave comments. Alright, if you got any places that you think are interesting, like you got your 3 contacts, you know, shoot them our way. Alright guys, I'm Andy, this is Honda Locations, see you next episode.
Peace.